Oh, yeah. V N APE.
Yo.
It's your boy Velasco.
Have you guys heard of the infancy gospel of Thomas?
Never.
So apparently it's like one of these like gospels that it's not in the Bible, but apparently it talks about how Jesus was when he was a kid, and apparently he was a dick, right?
Selfish.
Yeah, and he was like just killing motherfuckers and shit. Like anybody just told him some bullshit, he just let that
Fry that
motherfucker
nigga.
die. Like yeah, he just, you know, like some superpower shit. And then he would bring them back, and everybody be like, "Oh,
To life?
great job," you know.
Great
And
job.
I'd be like, "No, he's a fucking asshole. He killed him in the first place," you know. It's,
He just correcting his wrongs.
yeah, he was just being you know. But on the other hand, it's like
Crossing his
he's
T's, dotting
God,
his
so yeah, he's God, so he can do whatever the fuck he wants. I mean, you're lucky he even.
But the story claims that he would kill people and then bring them back to life.
Yeah, there's a couple of occasions where he did that. Like one time he had a teacher, and like he
That's
would.
so base.
Yeah, like the teacher, he was supposed to be like a master, because like apparently his dad felt he was ready to start like learning shit. By his dad, I mean like his, you know, his stepdad, right? Because his mom was a virgin as opposed to just some chick who fucked another dude and tried to say, no, it's like it's the son of God. You know, you got to believe me, Joseph. You gotta take my word for it.
He's the father of Step Dub.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Where was your bitch at, Joseph?
Getting piped down.
But apparently this Jesus motherfucker, this guy, he was he went up to this teacher that he had, right? And the teacher, he was like a master of all the shit he was gonna teach Jesus. And Jesus was like, "So you're a master, okay? How about you tell me the value of A, and I'll tell you the value of B." And I don't know what the fuck that even means.
What was A
And
and B for
apparently
context?
the master, or so-called teacher, felt like that was disrespectful, so he just fucking slapped Jesus. And that's, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, he got fried.
You don't want to just slap Jesus like
He got
that,
fried.
right? So yeah, this guy slapped Jesus, so Jesus kills him.
Nas had a bar where he's like, I went to hell for what is it?
When I was 12, I went to hell for snuffing Jesus
yeah.
and waving automatic guns at nuns. No, I think that part was added by Big L, that last part.
But yeah,
Hardcore.
gotta throw that Nas bar in there.
Yeah.
That is funny though. So he fucking slapped Christ himself.
He did slap the Christ, yeah. Yeah.
Sheesh.
Don't want to do that.
Some pretty savage shit to do.
What happened after?
Well, like I said, he died, you know.
Immediately?
Immediately.
On Jesus' sandals.
Jesus did not fucking wait. But then he brought him back, you know, and
He righted his wrongs.
He's like the fucking Grim Reaper, just like dressed in a fucking
yeah,
the grim dickhead.
pretty much. I mean,
dressed in like these fucking clothes from like however they were dressed.
I'm gonna power up some more.
I think so, yeah. It's pretty wild shit. One of the interesting things that you guys were talking to me about, that you guys had mentioned, was like whether or not it's okay to be a snitch.
Oh yeah.
Oh, let's get into it.
The ethics of snitching.
And when is it acceptable to snitch, if it's ever
Dude,
acceptable to snitch?
I got
I have
a
a
lot
personal
of
experience I can talk
situations. I got a lot of situations. I got a lot of examples.
Sure.
This is probably the only topic I actually
Yeah.
took some time in. So to start this off, we gotta start with this classic video of Cameron himself,
What's eyewear for?
interviewed by what's his guy name, Anderson Cooper, and it's about snitching and shit. So we gotta put this quick clip on.
Let me check it out. I don't think I've seen this.
This is classic. Let's put this on the mic. Closer.
Is there any situation where you think it's okay to talk to the police?
No.
Yeah, definitely. Say hello, how you feel, everything all right? Period.
That's it.
There's not really to talk about with the police. I mean, for what?
This is one of the
If
examples.
there's
Listen.
a serial killer living next door to you, though, and you know that person is, you know, killing people, would you be a snitch if you called police and told them?
If I knew the serial killer was living next door to me,
Yeah.
no, I wouldn't call and tell anybody on him, but I'll probably move, but I'm not gonna call and be like, you know, the serial killer's in 4E.
Damn.
And that was Cam, the man himself.
Hot take.
That is.
So that's gonna be one of my actual examples.
That's fucking comedy right there. That.
So if a serial killer did live next door to you, are you snitching?
Yes.
You're snitching automatically.
Yeah, I'm snitching. Yeah.
All right, now let's actually dive into this because
Yeah.
the whole idea where like
Yeah. Where I would protect and live next door to a serial killer.
I have a personal like story that I would need to get you guys' opinion on.
What about the idea where like if it's not your business, it's not your business?
It is my business. He's living next door to me.
So that's the only case.
He might be the next
fuck?
victim.
Let's change the next door case then. Let's say you know a serial killer.
And then of course you're asking me like it's one thing whether or not I would do it, but whether or not it's right to do it.
It's right, yeah. So that's why this is the whole ethics of snitching. And there's more examples I got right now. So that's just one. So let's dive into this one. Like, let's say he didn't live next door to you, but you knew a serial killer. Are you talking to the police just on some like volunteer shit? Like, hey guys, like.
If you knew a serial killer, yeah, it would be the right thing to do.
You think so?
I don't think ethically it's defensible to.
Now, what about in the sense where you're not 100% sure? You would only do it if you're 100% sure.
Well, I mean, what do you mean by 100% sure?
Because there is also the case you do snitch on.
You're not the one that's sentencing him.
No, but listen, you do. There is the case that you do snitch on somebody, and let's say the case happens, whatever, and he's found not guilty, and now you're looking like like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like you're like, yo, you just first of all.
I mean, you don't have to just go up to the cops and be like, yo, he killed this guy and that guy and then the other guy, and I'm telling you, man, I know all about this shit. You don't.
But that's I'm pretty sure that's information that's like kept. Like so, like if you do tell, I'm not sure 100% if you're like.
Because now because with this discussion, now we'd end up debating what it even means to actually snitch.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, you know, there's some fishy shit going on in apartment 202.
They would say that's fishing. They would say that's snitching.
But then there's also the fact of there's also the whole thing of street justice now. Taking it to your own hands, being a vigilante. And obviously this is all allegedly, guys, hypothetically. We're not.
I mean, I'm sure society would work great if everybody took shit into their own hands. It wouldn't be chaos at all.
I know, Abe, yes. But there is also that. I'm just saying, there's also that part of it too. But I don't know, man. It's tough for me to actually say because, like, morally, obviously, I don't want a serial killer just killing people. Nobody would want that.
There's just too much like pride and ego involved in hip hop.
I knew he was gonna say that. I knew he was gonna say that.
Ever to come out and be like, because this man literally just went on an interview, said like, nah, bro, like fuck.
You don't hear country
like,
musicians saying fuck snitches.
He's a serial killer, bro. Like that's
it's really a rap thing.
That's, I mean, come on, bro. He's just a serial killer, bro. But he's a good guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, we grew up together,
but
bro.
we never got to the. You never answered it though. Well, you said you'll do it.
I did.
Now, if you didn't live next door to you, even then you'll still do it.
Well, if I knew that he's a serial killer, yeah.
Okay, but that was the only case. If you knew 100% sure, you were either a witness, you some way you knew that this guy actually murdered and murders.
If there's no reasonable doubt, I'll fucking go straight over there. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm struggling to find like a moral justification for being like, nah, bro, just let that motherfucker like just keep killing people or walk around as though he didn't kill anyone.
That's the problem with today. A lot of people are like, oh, that's someone else's problem.
I just don't understand.
And then while you keep saying that's someone else's problem, that guy keeps killing people.
Yeah, but most people just don't want to get into that. Like, let's say,
no, of course.
Like, they don't even want to, like...
But that has nothing to do with whether or not it would be the appropriate thing to do.
Keep saying that's someone else's problem.
Like, if it's a guy that's 100% serial killing and just, like, murder on a murder spree, of course I think he should get arrested immediately.
But what you telling him?
But who else shouldn't be snitched on then? Like,
all right, I'll throw in some other examples. Hold up. There's also dry snitching. I don't know if you heard of that term.
What do you mean by dry snitching?
That's kind of like snitching indirectly.
Oh, okay, I see.
You know what I mean? Like, let me try to give you an example.
You suggest something that...
A lot of people dry snitch on themselves.
Yeah.
People could say Bobby Shmurda. Would that be considered dry snitching? That whole track? Caught a body about a week ago. I mean, I think that's just plain snitching.
That's
right?
self-snitching. That's not no dry snitching.
Nah, that's not.
But a lot of dry snitching is done on themselves.
The problem is
an example.
That's the problem with that is that, I mean, he's literally putting out real information about himself that will be used in court and was used in court.
Isn't there a federal law now that they can't use your lyrics against you?
Oh, they can.
Even
What
though
about
in
you,
Georgia,
Leo? You
in the
never
RICO
answered.
case, they're using Young Thug's lyrics against them. And yet Gotti and the whole YSL crew, they're using all their lyrics against them.
What
in the
about you,
RICO
Leo?
case.
What's your answer?
Do I think it's,
What? No, I'm
what's
saying.
the question?
If a serial killer, well, we can go to the one Cam acts. If a serial killer lived next door to you, are you telling? I think that one's reason. Obviously, yeah. Like the dude lives next door to me. I am for sure. Like if I'm,
You could be next on the list.
that's what I'm saying. Like I would have to defend myself. Either that or I'm,
And I don't think anyone is going to look at you as a snitch for putting away a serial killer. Wait,
Yeah, I wouldn't.
weren't there times in this country where you would be considered a hero if you did something like that?
I mean, yeah, it's pretty good. I'm not saying that's
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
So why is it nowadays snitching? Because of hip hop culture?
I don't know. Must be a
Because
lot
of
of
some
serial
ignorant
killers out
ass
there.
motherfucker telling me that I shouldn't tell on this guy?
It's definitely a thing now.
Now, Abe, let me hit you with this one.
Yeah, go for it.
I already know my answer, but now, if hypothetically, if you did a crime with someone,
Yeah.
and let's say in order to get less time, you have to snitch on them.
Well, I mean,
Strongly disagree.
This is a hard case because
in that case, then if I did a crime with someone, then that presumes
You're
that we
guilty
had
also.
that we had an agreement that
that we're gonna do this.
yeah that
Right.
that you're not we're
Like
working
we're
as,
in this together.
we're working as a team and we're not here to fuck each other over.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's pretty universally agreed upon in cases where some fucked up shit is done in a group.
Mm-hmm.
So no, you shouldn't snitch. In other words, the
Not on
ethical
your
thing
friends.
the ethical thing would be not to snitch if you got yourself involved in that situation.
What happened if we snitched on you?
Now here's the other thing. Well, then the same thing that I said applies to him, that he shouldn't have done that.
Right. Okay.
Now,
I agree for the most
now
part.
if
yeah.
this is somebody that I decided to do that with, yeah. Now on the other hand, if it's somebody that was fucking my bitch on the side and shit,
Oh man.
and
On some
doesn't give a
Tekashi
fuck
6ix9ine
about
shit?
me,
6ix9ine.
I'm gonna,
Some
I'm
6ix9ine
gonna,
shit.
I'm gonna
Man.
take 40 years behind bars for this guy.
I wasn't even gonna bring him
Why
up.
the fuck would I
knew
do that?
someone was going to bring that
I
up.
wasn't even gonna bring him
What
up.
is
but
what
here
is the
we are.
point? Like, why would you do that? Why do you give a fuck about these guys more than yourself?
Or your family.
Explain that to me, bro. Like,
Listen,
you want to defend people that would put a bullet in your brain.
I would never. I'm not defending this, but listen. It's that way, but of course he got himself into that too.
He did, but that has nothing to do with whether or not it's worth it.
I wouldn't say it's worth it. Like but that's the thing though. It's like I agree in the sense where like if these guys genuinely don't fucking have no.
Because once you got yourself in that situation, it's too late to be thinking about
this or that.
you shouldn't have gotten yourself into it. It's like, no.
You're already into it. Yeah.
We don't want to start with that because that's already a different argument. We want to start where things are already fucked. That's where it's complicated. Where it's complicated is you're already in the situation. What's the right thing to do?
My brother would have a whole different take on this.
I'm sure, but I don't think that. I think the take he would have probably depends more on just what's agreed upon.
More like just like
And what's
to stand on your own shit. You know what I mean? Like you did
Yeah,
this,
but not for those guys.
and that guy.
Not for anyone that'll put a bullet in my brain. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna help that person.
So in that sense, you would. Snitch.
I don't give a fuck about that guy. Yeah, he can go to jail for the rest
Okay.
of his life. He can get the electric chair.
Listen, bro, it's either me or you, right? That's kind of.
If there's a guy who's willing to kill me, I'm gonna fucking do 40 years.
What
in
about you,
prison.
Leo?
Bro, people won't give a homeless dude $1 in the street.
Right.
You're gonna take 40 years for a dude that would kill you?
Never.
What the fuck?
I think that is snitching, definitely. If you snitch on somebody you did
Yeah.
a crime with, I think that's snitching, 100%.
No, the
So-
situation with like let's
They
say
fucked your baby mama
it's
and they
snitching.
let's say this guy is trying to like ended up like trying to do some fuck shit to you. He tried to maybe like kill you,
rob you.
rob you, whatever the case is. And
Did you do a crime with this person?
yes,
Yeah, you
clearly.
Then you should definitely handle that up yourself. You shouldn't incriminate him just because he's trying to.
Leo
he
with
is
a
trying to fuck
different
you
take.
over.
Let's go.
He's trying to fuck you over, but
Let's
I
go.
think you should definitely handle that, like in the
Okay.
streets or however the fuck they
They'd
say
say
it,
40
you feel me?
years for a guy that's trying to fuck you over.
Let's go. Now we're talking.
I'm not gonna take 40 years for a guy that's trying to fuck me over. I'm gonna fight it to the end, but I'm not gonna incriminate him.
I'll
just-
incriminate the fuck out of a guy that doesn't give a fuck
Okay.
about me.
Okay.
What about this? What if he's
Yeah.
incriminating you?
Yeah, that's his problem. I can't control what he does.
The stoic.
You would incriminate him if, no matter what, if he's trying to fuck you over.
Yeah, I mean, if it was my brother I did a crime with, I would never snitch on him.
What if he's trying to fuck you over?
He's my brother.
Yeah, that's different, bro. That's
He's trying to put you under. He's trying to bury you under the jail.
He's my brother.
Damn.
Okay. Valid.
So no.
There's the whole thing with snitching is there's so many. It's not black and white, you know.
No,
Like,
but that's on my own.
I have a personal
But that's
experience
you.
I would like to talk about and to get your guys' opinion
Go
on.
ahead.
Okay, so this happened to me in 2021. I was coming back from a trip in North Carolina, right? And I was in a rented car. So the person that rented the car to me, right? The car shuts off around Boca Raton, I want to say, like around the northern end of South Florida. And the car shuts off, and I call the guy that I rented the car from, and I'm like, yo, dude, the car shut off. I'm like an hour away from Miami. And then he's like, oh, I'll pull up, and, I'll fix it, and then you guys can be on your way. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. I didn't think much of it. So when he pulled up, he got out of the car. He came to the car. He started trying to fuck around with the engine. Then his boy got out of the car and started trying to, fuck around. And then he hopped in the driver's seat. And when I went to go inside the car, he's like, no, hold up, brother. Don't get in the car yet. So I should have known something was up, but whatever. I was thinking I just came back from fucking North Carolina. I just fucking did a whole ass mission, I'm not thinking, of something negative, or that he's trying to fuck me over in any type of way. So since I didn't get in the car...
You rented a car from this guy?
Yeah. I was renting a car for $150 a day, by the way. Not some cheap shit. So his buddy that was supposedly working on the engine moves to the side, and this guy, since when you rent cars from people, they put a tracking system in it, but it also has a kill switch that you can kill a car. So I guess he took off the kill switch and engaged it again, turned the car back on, and he sped off. And oh, by the way, I was with two of my friends, and we had all our luggage and our stuff in the car. So he speeds off with the car, and he takes everything that we have. You feel me? And then his little homie runs over to the car that they were driving, and he takes off in that car. You feel me? So by the grace of God, right, before they had pulled up, I want to say 10 minutes before they pulled up, a state trooper had come up to us and been like, why are you guys waiting on the side of the road for now almost 2 hours? And then we were like, oh, we're just waiting for someone to pull up to help us with our car. So I guess they stayed looking at the camera, because once they took off on us, they pulled back up again. And then they were like, oh, what just happened? These guys just run off. You're chasing after them. It just looks very strange. And then my boy, he had left some AirPods inside of his book bag inside the car. So he could track them with Find My iPhone. You feel me? So he told the police, he's like, oh no, they just took our stuff. I could track them, we'll find my iPhone, whatever. And they're like, oh, do you have his Instagram? And then he's like, yeah, I have his Instagram. Because we all knew the guy, you feel me? So he was like, yeah, I have his Instagram, I have...
Does this correlate to snitching?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
No shit. What is he doing right there?
What, him telling the cops and with the Find My iPhone?
Yeah.
This is where it's at.
So...
I mean,
let me finish. So, what ends up happening is they use the Find My iPhone app after he shows them pictures on Instagram, after he gives them their name, the snitching part, you feel me? After he writes a statement, the snitching part. They asked me to write a statement, but I refused. They asked me if I corroborated
Why
his
did you
story.
refuse?
Because I didn't want it on black and white.
Okay.
So they're like, do you corroborate his story though? And I'm like, yes. He's like, oh, okay. In order for us to legally take that, you have to write it down. And I'm like, okay, don't write it down. It's fine. But I corroborate what he's saying.
So you've officially snitched, just for the record.
Yeah, sure, whatever. And then my other boy wrote a statement. So they both of them wrote the statement. Okay, so they use Find the iPhone and they tracked them to a hotel that's literally 5 minutes away from the scene. And dude, when we get there, dude, tell me when we get there, they're literally loading our stuff up onto a car and trying to go upstairs into the room with it.
Believe, bro.
So they're trying to load up the stuff, try to go upstairs to the room with our stuff, and the cops catch them in action. And the cops, the whole way there, because we rode in a cop car to go get them, or to get our stuff back. And they were like, oh, what are we going to do if we pop the trunk and there's a bunch of drugs in it? And then we were like, sir, you don't have to worry about that. There is some money in the car. We specified that. We were like, there's about $50,000 in the car. So that's probably why we have a target on our back. which he surprisingly didn't question too much, the $50,000, like at all. So, we pull up, they get searched. My boy was the one missing the money. I already had my money on me. The only thing that was in the car of mine was $4,000. So one of them is wearing my jacket. You feel me? My bubble jacket or whatever. You feel me?
Yo, we gotta speed the story up, Doug.
Where I know you were in a rush. So, I get my $4,000 back, and then my boy ends up getting some of his money back, not all of it, most of it though. And they all start calling us snitches. They're like, snitch, oh, watch what's gonna happen, blah, blah. And they all started, like, labeling us a snitch. They post a video on Instagram tagging us and saying, oh, these people are snitches, don't fuck with them. Yeah, these people are snitches, they're pieces of shit. And the whole time I was thinking, I was like, after you do that to me, totally unprovoked, like literally I did nothing wrong to this guy. I paid him on time every single time. I rented from him. Like I thought he was my boy. I thought he was my boy. And then he starts posting on Instagram everywhere that I'm this piece of shit that snitched on him, blah blah blah. And it just got me thinking, I'm like, did I just ruin my face or my reputation because someone tried to jack me? Like, am I the one that's wrong here? Obviously not. But it's like, that's how they would paint the picture.
Motherfucker had you thinking different for a second.
And motherfuckers were actually telling me something about it. They're like, oh, you snitched, blah, blah. And then I'm like, if you can find paperwork that says my name and their name, then go for it. Just then show the world. Of course, they couldn't find it because it didn't exist.
Even then, though, that would bother you, though?
Huh?
That would bother you?
It would bother me that so many people were talking about it and trying to drag my name through the mud. You feel me? No one wants their reputation destroyed over fucking some dumbass shit that other people did.
Well, what's the reputation? Like, what? Just people talking on the internet?
That's some bummy ass
That's some shit, bro. Like, come on, bro. Who cares about those people?
When you're in the game and you're doing shit, you know.
I mean, sure, it might paint a bad image on you with certain people.
When you're in the game and you're doing things that like are off your face, like most of the business is done off your face. You need a clean face, or people won't do business with you.
And that type
of
shit.
So it affects your money making capabilities.
Of course.
So I just wanted to get your guys' opinion on it. And is that snitching? What's the ethics on that?
Oh no, the ethics. I mean, it's completely justified. This guy fucked you over.
For real, Leo. There's no even debate about it.
That's how I look at it too. I just wanted to get your guys' opinion.
Yeah, this guy fucked you over. I mean, there's a reason
why... But people thought I was snitched because of this.
What would be the other side? That you should have handled it on your own?
Yeah, exactly. I should have went to his house, shot up his crib, done whatever, blase.
Let me put it to you like this.
Yeah, exactly.
If you put a bullet in this guy's head...
Why does it gotta be a bullet, though?
No, I'm trying to give it...
That's like worst case scenario.
I'm trying to come up with...
That happens, I go to jail.
I'm just trying to establish something here. Let's suppose in some magical world you get away with this. You put a bullet in this guy's brain, right? What would the streets be saying about you?
That I'm a killer.
Okay.
That I'm supposedly like a legend because this guy robbed from me and I put a bullet in his brain, so now I'm a hood legend.
So now you're the shit.
Emphasis on hood because no one else will think I'm a legend. Everyone else will think I'm a murderer.
Okay.
But in the hood, I'll be a legend.
So you got a body on you.
So we're dealing with a situation where
boy Leo got a body.
Where we're talking about people who think they don't want to do business with you. Right, if you
be snitched,
you get your own shit back that was stolen illegally from you,
but they'll do business.
They'll glorify you if you fucking kill someone.
Welcome to hood economics, hood politics. That is hood politics at its very building point, at its very foundation. That is hood politics.
Now just think about how retarded that is.
I mean, like most hood politics, it's usually backwards.
It's pretty retarded.
It's backwards.
But nobody mentions how retarded it is.
Because people think that's like the cool thing. And as long as it's cool, forget about logic. Who cares about logic? It's cool.
It's fucking retarded though. I mean,
and I'm saying cool in quotation marks.
But I still think overall, like you doing some shit with your boy and you snitching, that's flaw. I don't fuck with that.
I mean, you should, no. You shouldn't listen. If you're dealing with first of all, if you're doing something with somebody that you don't trust and somebody that's fucking you over,
that's already a red flag.
What the fuck are you doing, bro?
Like, I was with my friends. I was doing business with someone I thought was my friend, and obviously they did not have that in mind. They had some fuck shit in mind. Oh, and then when we actually caught up to them in the car was some guy that I had pressure with for like 2 years. I had mad problems with this guy, and when we pull up to them, he's in the car. He was in the car. If I would have seen him, I would have already known something was up. I would have been like, okay, there's a problem here. There's definitely a problem here. What are they doing hanging with my opposition, like my enemy, you know? Like super like bad blood between us. Very bad. We fought, we fist fought. There's a lot of bad blood between us. And if I would have seen that guy, I would have known automatically something was wrong. I saw that guy when we pulled up to the hotel. See,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, fuck, bro. I don't give a fuck. I mean, shit. Put my name on it, bro.
You would have wrote. You would have wrote the black and white.
Send him a fucking email.
With a copy.
I'll go to fucking court. I'll fucking point at him. Be like, that was the one, Your Honor.
Is
that one right
street
there.
justice ever justifiable?
I mean, what aspect of it?
Let's say,
I understand that if you and another person, right, who's a friend of yours, say you're very close friends, and you do something illegal together, and you snitch on your friend, having both of you already agreed
That's wrong.
that you shouldn't snitch on each other. If any of us goes
That's
down,
morally wrong.
it's just you. It just happened to be you, right? But there's no reason for you to drag both of us down.
Exactly.
When we agreed that we wouldn't do that.
Right.
That's a
on.
violation of an agreement between you and somebody
Friendship.
that you actually value.
Yeah.
Right.
I can think of when street justice is justifiable. Let's say you have a
Jay-Z
child.
had a bar where he's like, not to cut you off, what did he say? I forgot what it is, but he's like, oh, what's that dude's name that he killed the young black kid? Fuck, what's his name?
The guy that killed Trayvon Martin?
Trayvon Martin. Zimmerman. Jay-Z on the track was like, something like, how y'all let Zimmerman get away? The streets is done. Like, he just ended it like that type shit. And that's pretty much... No, I'm good off that.
So, I think street justice is justifiable. Let's say you have a child, right?
The child gets raped.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the child gets molested.
That situation.
Exactly. What do you think about street justice then?
That's a good one.
If it's your child, and I have a son, so I know what it can possibly feel like. I know what it can hypothetically feel like. I have a son.
Let's examine it in terms of what's best for your son.
Not going to jail for 25 years.
Good answer. That's probably the
probably
best
a good
one.
start.
Yeah.
Probably be better for him if you're not locked up in a fucking dungeon for 25 years.
Not to mention the trauma.
That's if you don't get caught.
He's already traumatized because of being molested, but now his dad killed somebody, so he's even more traumatized. That's furthering the drama. The trauma.
That's if you don't get caught, though.
That's if you do get caught.
No, I'm saying, like, that would be the only...
That's a hell of a chance to take.
If you're killing this guy, they're going to be looking at you.
If he dies, period. And
they're going to be looking at unless he dies in jail or something, they're going to be looking at you.
You're saying, like, hypothetically, if, like, there was a case about the person getting raped and they know who it is and, like...
I remember,
it's like when a spouse dies, the first person they look at is the husband.
The UFC heavyweight fighter, Cain Velasquez, he was champ and he ended up in a situation where apparently somebody had raped his daughter and he went after the guy with his dad in some fucking truck or some shit and he killed the guy.
Good for him.
And he went to prison and then it turns out he didn't kill the right fucking guy.
No, bad for him. Bad for him. Take it back.
And so think about taking 2 L's like that back to back, right?
Jesus.
And our son doesn't have a father in the picture. So, in trying to save your son and protect him, you literally took yourself out of your son's life. You'll never be able to protect him again.
I mean, as rough as this may sound, like...
Please don't say some
What?
crazy shit.
What do you think I'm gonna say?
Go ahead. I don't know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
No, this nigga said free Cain Velasquez.
Kills the wrong motherfucker. They gotta free you. No. That was your bad.
I was just gonna say, like, either, I mean, if we're just gonna talk legally, like, you would have to take it to the chin, right? If you want to be a part of your that's a tough thing to, like, I don't even know how I would even feel, bro.
There's a lot of people that take it to court and they're there at the courthouses looking at the molester, like, just seething in anger.
What I'm saying
I'll destroy him at court. I'll take the charge.
If that guy...
I'll be held in contempt.
If somebody puts a bullet in that guy's brain, there's no complaint on my end. All right? It's perfectly fine for there to be a bullet in that guy's brain.
Would you be able to walk around and be okay? Even if he gets life in jail, would you be able to walk around and feel okay about yourself? Feel like you did everything in your power to protect your son or daughter?
Well, if I kill him, I wouldn't feel like I did everything in my power to protect my son.
Yeah, because you're not in his life anymore.
And so
if you let him walk free,
I feel like if I consider both of those possibilities, The worst one that I could do for my son,
Is not
because
be
at the
there.
end of the day, who gives a fuck how I feel? I could be feeling like shit for the rest of my life. If my son is fine, even if that guy's just in jail and I'm fucking pissed off every day that
I mean,
he's
your
even
son
breathing.
is traumatized. He's the main one affected.
He is the main one affected.
Maybe
And he's
his
the- and
thoughts
he-
aren't
Dude,
developed enough to understand.
He's the one
but
that's he's gonna be affected a whole lot worse.
Yeah,
if I'm not
especially
around.
later
for
on in
sure,
life.
for sure.
So that's just not worth it
Yeah.
in terms of consequences. It's
And
just,
especially if that happened to him, you definitely would want to be there for him.
There's a guy in Miami who I remember his son got molested and the killer ended up getting like 8 years or 7 years, some ridiculously low sentence. And when he was walking out the courtroom, this was back then when they didn't have metal detectors in the courtrooms. It was like in the 70s
Put a
or
bullet-
early 80s. Yeah, he pretended he was talking on the phone.
I
and
seen
when
that
the
video.
guy, walked
I seen
by
it.
him. He turns around and shoots him in the head.
Yeah.
He got arrested right there. He's in the courtroom. There's cops
Yeah.
everywhere. But he blew that guy back to smithereens, back
He
to the
did
Stone
life
Age.
for sure. He did life off rip.
No, he did. They gave,
have
him,
no
they, gave
idea.
him, they gave him a light sentence after that. It was pretty.
For the him killing him?
Yeah,
How much?
pretty light. It was pretty light, dude.
I have no idea what it was. But I know
To
that
blow a
the
guy's brains off in
I know
court?
that the guy got off with 7-8 years, the molester.
That's OD.
And that's why that guy blew that nigga's top out.
First
was-
of all, to give a fucking molester 7 or 8 years.
That's
bro.
wild.
What the fuck?
And he had abducted the child from like his house. He had abducted the child and like
Yeah,
it's
that's
some
like
crazy
easily
shit.
30,
Some
40
crazy
years,
shit.
bro.
Some crazy
The
shit.
fuck?
This was back in the late 70s, early 80s. So maybe that explains some of it. Back then, sentences were lighter.
That is
People
some
would
wild
move
shit.
fucking kilograms of cocaine, and up until like 1976, you would get like 5 years. When the harsh drug laws were introduced to curb the onslaught of drugs into the United States, that's when like people started getting scared. But people back then would mix up fucking kilos on kilos of meth, make millions of dollars, and get out. And even if they got caught, they would have like 5 years, 4 years, and still sitting on millions of dollars.
I think the 80s through 2000
Ronald Reagan, our boy.
had like the like
war on drugs.
I feel like those people were really living, dog.
There was also a lot of problems back
They
then.
were living.
Yeah, and the shit
Not
wasn't
that
sweet.
long, but they were.
Shit wasn't sweet back then. A lot of
you think-
geopolitical tension, a lot of
Oh,
shit
yeah.
going on in the United States, a lot of inequality.
Then what was some good years? I know there was some really good years between those though. of
Maybe I would want to say maybe even the 70s, 60s would be better.
course. You think
Even
so?
though that was World War II,
The
60s
economy sucked ass. in
Sorry,
the
that
70s.
wasn't World War II. I'm talking shit. But I think the 70s and 60s were better.
The
Definitely.
70s. The problem with the 70s is how fucked up of a recession we were in. Like the economy
This
was.
has been worse.
That was fucking horrible. It was a decade with no growth.
Really?
Yeah, no.
You don't think the middle class was thriving though?
In the 70s? No.
No?
No. In the 80s, they were doing much better economically.
I would want to see the data on this. I would like to see the data.
no,
Was it
on
good?
all this.
that is the data. I mean, you can look at the markets and
I've
you,
never
can,
looked
and
it
you
up.
can look at those years. That's known as the period of stagflation. So there was inflation, and at the same time, there was a lack of growth in the economy.
Wasn't shit amazing?
I've heard if
in the
inflation
50s?
is bad, deflation is even worse.
Well, deflation can be pretty fucking terrible. Yeah,
Pretty
it can be,
brutal.
It can be a lot worse. Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
China's experiencing.
That's why they try to like end up, pushing for 2% inflation per year, which we've well exceeded the fuck out of that shit.
But the feds, they lower the interest rates and higher the interest rates, trying to like maneuver inflation,
Yeah,
and
but
it's not working.
It never works, really. I mean, eventually you hit a recession. That's just part of the process.
Like, what did they do with the Fed rates? They raised them, right? To combat inflation?
They raise
Recently?
Yeah, they work with the other banks to raise interest rates. And then when you raise interest rates, it makes it more expensive for people to borrow money because they end up having to pay higher interest. And so people start buying less shit and asking for less loans. And so there's less inflation.
But inflation, I don't see it going down.
I mean, it depends on what period you're looking at. Like if you look month over month.
I went to Checkers, there's no dollar store anymore. I mean, there's no dollar menu.
Gas is getting pretty low.
Oh, that's
man.
not gonna come back. Because
the dollar menu's
they
gone.
printed well too
That's
much.
the thing of the past.
They printed too much money for that shit to.
Then they print like 30% of the world's like money, or 20% of the world's money, in like 1
Not so
year
long
in
ago.
2020.
They printed. Yeah, I think they doubled the money supply or some shit. And
No, not doubled, but it was
Oh,
like
yeah,
up
they
there. It
doubled.
was like
They
20,
doubled it,
30%.
yeah.
That was printed just in 1 year.
They doubled the fuck out of that shit. and it continues. I mean,
Are we gonna be like Argentina, where we walk around with blocks of money to pay for like lunch? Like
Yo,
it's
have
like
you seen that?
You pay.
That's actually wild.
It's like you're like holding money to your ear, and then it's like, oh no, I'm just gonna go buy
Just for a bread.
I'm just gonna go buy a steak or something.
Yeah, that's just wild, dude. I heard about that. That's insane.
You
It's really bad over there.
The primary candidate, the primary political, I guess, chosen one for
Yeah.
Argentina, the next chosen
He's
president.
right wing.
He's being charged.
Oh, no, he's a libertarian,
being charged, just like Donald Trump, on some kangaroo court banana republic shit. You feel me?
fuck.
And you know what they're charging him with? Through his political campaign, he made the money worthless. Like, he's the reason why people are holding bricks of cash to pay for lunch.
That's some wild
That's
shit.
what they said because of
this
his
the-
political campaign.
Is this the libertarian guy that?
Yeah, the
Tucker
libertarian. Wait,
Carlson,
that looks like
Yeah.
Pete Wentz with his hair.
the crazy hair.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
He's being charged criminally because his political
They don't want
campaign
him- they don't want him to-
influenced inflation. It made him inflation crazy in their country, which they're the ones that did that, and they're putting it on him. It's crazy as fuck. Like,
that's
it's
some funny
nuts.
shit.
How do you do that?
I mean, they just don't want him to be.
Obviously,
If that's the case.
and that guy is actually pretty smart. I fuck with that guy's ideas.
I mean, what do you consider yourself, right wing?
Except he doesn't fuck with abortion. I'm, pro-choice.
Yeah, he's more on the religious side.
Yeah, definitely.
So-
Definitely.
What do you consider yourself?
What are you talking about?
Like right wing?
I
Are you a
guess you
socialist?
could call me right wing.
Or you call
but-
me deep
but
inside?
I like libertarian too, right wing libertarian. I like both ideals, and I always never try to place myself like in one spot because my ideas are constantly evolving, much like a lot of us. So
You had told me you were a lefty though, like kind of more
shut up,
more to the
shut
comedy
up,
side.
dude. Shut up.
I'm just saying what you
Don't
say
lie
off-
on the pod. Why
More-
you gotta
more-
lie on
more
the
to
pod,
comedy
bro?
side, you said?
I'm just saying what
Trying
you
to
say.
throw dirt on my name.
Listen, bruh.
Trying to.
I heard you really agreed with what Treasy was saying, bruh.
Oh yeah,
No, sir. I'm a Klaus Schwabist.
I love that.
I'm not a treesiest.
a Klaus Schwab.
Dude, I actually have some questions more about like Palestine and
Oh, I thought you were
Israel.
gonna talk about snitching. Oh shit.
Oh, you guys want to still get into that? Is
No,
there-
we could-
we're good. We're
yeah,
good.
No,
we had
Is
enough
that the
of
end of it? That's
yeah,
it?
yeah. We pretty much
We don't have
answered
much
my
to
questions
add.
already.
Because I don't think snitching is not.
So multifaceted.
Yeah, and it's not like because the problem is the reason why people say no to it so constantly is because of the blow it does to reputations and people that like come from the streets and shit.
That's what I experienced.
and people who live in like similar situations where fucked up shit is being done and everyone's doing fucked up shit.
I mean, you gotta understand it from that aspect as well. That like snitching can get you killed.
It can.
In certain areas
Yeah.
and in certain situations.
Oh, yeah.
So there is that.
You got to consider your own safety.
So it's not even about
Especially when you're in
morally,
that life.
it's literally about life or death here.
Yeah,
on
but
certain
Still,
pla-
even
times.
like dudes will come out of the streets and be out for like 30 years and be like, psh.
Well,
Not
would
me.
that change your decision in that sense then?
Not me. No, it might change the decision,
Of you snitching?
but it has nothing to do with whether or not the decision is right or wrong.
Sure.
I mean, whether or not you would end up getting killed over snitching, that has a lot to do with whether or not you should do it.
Yeah, right. Forget about it being
But
right
it has
or wrong.
nothing to do with whether or not that person should be snitched on by somebody that shouldn't die.
I mean,
Right?
yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's both true that the person shouldn't die,
True.
and it's also possible that at the same time it's true that that person should be snitched on. And I'm using the word snitch because I'm not trying to fucking pretend like this is we're talking about snitching.
Right, yeah, I know what you're saying.
I'm not gonna try to say no, like he testified, he's a witness.
Right.
No, you're snitching.
Right.
It's snitching with a fucking capital S on that shit.
And
Right.
just to clarify, snitching is just you literally speaking to the cops.
I mean, shit, even when you were in fucking school, you know? Even when you were in school, there was snitching, right? Now, of course, that was way less severe.
It was still looked down upon.
And so, of course, like,
You're a
you don't...
tattletale.
Tattletale,
See,
bruh.
yeah. So in that case, like, you don't want to fucking snitch on your friends, right? Some stupid shit happened, and you're gonna get a 5-day suspension.
Right.
And then if you end up like snitching, you'll get a 3-day suspension, and everybody else gets a suspension. First of all, at the end of the day,
You're not winning.
at the end of the day, you'll be seen as a snitch, which you are a snitch because you did do it. And then your friends, first of all, they'll be calling you a snitch and they'll be hating you.
Probably won't
And
be your friends.
they'll still enjoy the 5 days they get away from school. and they'll still hate you at the same time, which is the most childish shit all around.
Just fucked up your friendship for no reason.
It's terrible. But
Did you guys ever tattletale? I never told on anybody.
Probably like
I actually got my Yu-Gi-Oh card stolen in 3rd grade, like a lot of really valuable cards, and I never told.
Yeah, I got my.
I know who did it. I never told.
No, I definitely told when I was like in fucking 1st grade or some shit. There's
I
no
was-
way.
There's
no way.
My parents always told me that snitching was wrong.
There's no-
Like, they always raised me like
There's
that.
no way.
My dad in specific.
It's just at a certain point, like you fucking figure out like, dude, don't be that fucking guy. Like, why are you doing this? Plus, especially if it's your friends or some shit. But even if it's somebody else, like, do you really want to fuck up like your ability to keep your mouth fucking shut?
Can I segue here?
No, I was actually gonna segue. I got something. We're gonna talk about. I had some
The battle
questions.
of the segue.
Well, go ahead. What do you got?
Go for it.
I think that a lot of ideals that we strongly believe in come from our parents instilling it into us, from the time we were small. The nature versus nurture debate, obviously that's what I'm talking about, and I strongly believe it's nurture. And your parents are your first haters. Your parents are your first everything. You feel me?
Wasn't that proved wrong or whatever?
By who?
Fucking
The nature versus nurture debate.
yeah.
Who was it proved
But
wrong
wait,
by?
before we get into this, like some, let's just leave that to the end. How much time do we have left?
That's a scientific debate. That's not even.
12:20.
I'm gonna put it to the side, but I'm gonna bring it back up.
Yeah, keep that thought. I just want to finish, but I just have some questions about Israel and Palestine, because we did. What was I gonna ask? What are your guys' thoughts? Any new thoughts about it? Nothing.
The only thoughts that I have is seeing from like the responses that the world is given to it.
Right.
Because what I see is just a lot of like huge protests in like fucking Muslim countries and shit, talking about like Israel, like just stop.
And just to be clear, what's a Zionist?
A Zionist is somebody who supports the Israeli government
Occupation.
and thinks that that Israel should be there as a government.
Okay, and so what will be considered an anti-Zionist? Someone who's against
Somebody
that.
who thinks Israel shouldn't exist.
Is that on some like Jews shouldn't exist, or they just
Sometimes it is. Some people say that anti-Zionism is not anti-Jew.
Jew, but it's anti.
It's anti-Israel.
I wanted to say Zionism refers to Israel occupying Jerusalem in specific. Zionists are for the occupation of, the Jewish people occupying Jerusalem. It's very specific to Zionism. Zionist.
I only ask because I've been seeing that shit. And I'm like, and then they say there's shit that says like Zionists or Nazis on Twitter. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what is this? Like,
That's some hilarious shit.
just I've been reading a bunch of weird.
I
Very
don't.
specific to what I said, though.
I don't see what the bitching about Israel existing or fucking being there
What are your thoughts on?
is, other than some holy war bullshit.
It's the New Age
Right.
crusade, like I said on the last
Because
podcast.
it just doesn't make any fucking sense. Like
And
there's,
it's the classic battle of Jews versus Christians.
in all the Middle East, like Israel, like out
Who
of
does
all,
Jerusalem belong to?
out of all these fucking countries, like this is the most secular country that you're gonna get into the least shit and
But
have the most
think
human
about it.
rights. I mean, think about it like this: like if you have like the Palestinians and shit, right? And this is part of the entire issue that I struggle to deal with, because they're talking about like that they're doing ethnic cleansing on Palestinians and shit.
Kind of are.
Which is fucking hilarious,
You don't think
considering
so?
there's more of them now than before.
But you don't think
You're not ethnically
it's part of
cleansing.
a bigger plan? You don't think
Well,
that's on
demonstrate
their
it.
agenda?
You got to demonstrate that. I can't just take that shit on faith.
I mean, they literally
What
just
about-
started their ground invasion into Gaza.
But yeah, they did.
And like I mentioned last
Which is a lot
podcast,
better-
it's a lot of children in Gaza
There
and
is.
West Bank.
Yeah.
It's more than
There is.
half. It's
You
more
don't
than
think a
75%.
war.
You
There's
don't
no-
think a ceasefire is better?
No, that is the dumbest shit you could ever do.
Why?
Because all you're going to end up doing is prolonging what's going to continue to be a fucking war. You're not going to negotiate with a terrorist group that has as its entire mission statement the abolition of Jews.
Worldwide.
Okay, like that's just not something that's going to work.
Not just Israel,
ever.
worldwide.
That's their actual message?
Yeah.
Yes.
Worldwide Jew destruction.
They have to fucking die.
Jesus Christ.
So you're
New
not
Age
you're not
Hitler.
gonna negotiate with these fucking people,
Right.
right?
And these
so-
are the only guys.
And the idea, and first of all, that's number one. Number two, there's fucking well over 200 people that have been kidnapped from Israel. So you're not gonna just say, oh fuck it, ceasefire, let them fucking have their way. You don't negotiate with terrorists by just saying, fuck it, let me just give in to your demands. There's no decision that Israel could do where it would end up looking good, because the way that Hamas works is they like using their fucking civilians as targets so that they can
also
play
put
the
out a
victim
lot
card.
of propaganda on social media, and people eat it up.
They are. Well, I mean, the thing is, like, there's what, like 15 million Jews in the world, and there's
and this
a
comes
lot
from
of-
someone who's pro-Palestine.
and there's a billion Muslims. So of course there's going to be more.
Well, what does pro-Palestine mean, though? You're not pro-Israel?
I support Palestinian people and their right to be there.
Well,
I don't think they should be kicked out, bombed.
But are you
thrown
not
out.
pro-Israel too?
Huh?
Are you not pro-Israel too?
Yeah, but I don't think they should be occupying Jerusalem.
You don't think any Jews...
Who should be in Jerusalem?
That's like, but it's a lot like saying, oh, since there's a lot of Christians in the United States, do Christians like have a claim in Jerusalem? You feel me? Just because we're Christians?
No.
Not even that. That's like saying-
I'm saying it makes no sense. Like for there to, I mean, Jerusalem is going to be in some certain country, right?
What do you mean by that?
Where should it be?
Jerusalem is where it is on the
it's
map.
where, exactly.
Yeah,
it's where it is. Who should be? What
Occupying it?
country should have it?
You're saying
But
Palestinians should?
This goes to religion, and this goes to faith, and this goes to
This goes to whoever the fuck is there right now, took it by force, and if we want to say no, just give it away, that's never gonna fucking happen.
No, not in today's day and age.
That's not a reasonable negotiation. It never has been.
Like
I was
most
gonna
things
say,
in life, they were taken by force.
I was gonna say, like, a lot of people on Twitter are heavy pro-Palestine.
I mean,
and,
think
like,
about it.
because
Look,
they don't want people to die. Innocent people.
What percentage of Israel is Arab?
I'd say most of them.
I don't want nobody
No,
to die, though.
I don't mean Jewish. I mean Arab.
Arab?
Yeah,
I don't know. You tell me.
as in like the Muslim population.
You tell me.
Yeah, it's 20%.
Okay.
That number's been growing.
Okay.
Okay, they have representatives there. How many of these other countries?
But the rest of the
Muslim
Arab,
majority,
the rest of the Arab nations are rejecting Israel. They don't stand with Israel.
the
at all.
rest of the Arab,
Saudi Arabia just threatened to fuck Israel up if they start their ground invasion.
they've always wanted.
That's the thing, though. These guys have had plenty of bombings to each other, done fucked up shit to each
Yemen
other.
doesn't fuck with them.
So it's kind of hard to, like, really be like...
No Muslim country is gonna fuck with Israel. That's just not.
Yeah,
happening.
no, they're shunning them.
Yeah.
Why?
They don't like them.
They don't fuck with
How
Jews?
can I explain that? They
So your whole thing is just...
They don't have a problem with. I mean,
don't have a problem with Palestine.
No, I'm saying
They're
your whole
pro-Palestine.
thing... So your whole thing being pro-Palestine is just they should be there? Is it?
I think that no innocent people should die. I think
that's
Hamas,
impossible.
I think
Leo,
Hamas,
come on, Leo.
that's impossible.
obviously.
Like, Hamas kills their own fucking people.
Damn, I can't. Is it wrong with me to not want innocent people to die?
Yeah, but
I
it's
know
a- but
just
it's-
because it's not possible
but
doesn't
it's
mean
not a
I can't
position.
believe in peace.
No, but it's not a position.
A position is Hamas should be
That's like saying
eradicated.
I want to be a
But
billionaire
you know,
by not doing shit.
Look, when Hamas gets eradicated because of the power vacuum, there's gonna be someone else to step
No
up and
shit.
take that role.
No shit.
So how do you even
Yeah.
stop terrorism?
Yeah.
How about that?
That's a good question. Yeah. Well,
There's no way to stop it.
what happens? Nobody wants to take in Palestinians, even when they're running away.
I know.
Egypt doesn't want to take them.
and they're right there to the south
Egypt.
of
Why
them.
not, though?
Which Egypt, by the way, ended up
Because
taking.
last time they fucked them, it fucked them over, right? Like they let in a bunch of Palestinians and they committed a bunch of crime or some bullshit like that. I think that's what happened. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
So, I mean, even Egypt bitching about occupation is fucking hilarious to me.
Why?
Because they fucking ended up in. I mean, think about the treaty they got, where they gave away the entire Sinai area to Egypt.
What was that treaty? What was that treaty called?
A whole fucking chunk of land was given away
Really?
to them. Right.
Okay.
So
For what reason?
just for the fucking peace. I mean,
Oh.
they are
I
surrounded.
mean, when it comes to peace, a lot of things are bargained off.
There's a lot. I mean, think about it. They're surrounded by Arab nations, all of which have the same religion.
All of which will turn on you and weaponize to band together to destroy you.
Right. A lot of which believe a holy war should ensue that leads to the death of you.
Yeah, definitely.
Bro. It's sad, though, bro. All those videos and shit, that's just crazy, dog.
Oh, and to answer your question, I don't know who should occupy Jerusalem because at the end of the day,
No, I was just asking because you said you were pro-Palestine. So
that's a question only God can answer.
But you are pro.
See, that's just he should fucking answer it then.
Give us a sign.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone should die, but obviously they're going to be
You
at
don't
a
think
war.
terrorists should die?
I think terrorists should die.
There's no. Fucking,
I agree with that.
There's no action that Israel could take that would make people feel.
But
comfortable.
do you
Whatever they do, they're wrong.
Hold up. Do you agree that a lot of Republicans are being very
Oh, they're being fanatical.
very extreme
fanatical.
about it?
Pro-Israel.
All right.
Yeah,
all
they're
right.
acting like everything Israel does. I'm not gonna pretend to
They're
understand.
our allies. That's
Yeah,
why.
I'm not gonna pretend like there's a like.
They have to cover their
like
back.
I fully understand like the military strategy of Israel and whether or not they're actually leading to much more civilian death than is necessary. I have no idea.
None of us do.
I don't know what that fucking geography is like. I don't know what the population is like. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what fucking technology is being used, evaded, what sort of information the Mossad has on the shit that's going
The
on there.
Mossad is crazy.
I don't know any of that shit.
Yeah, but to stand on it so like firmly, like they don't really.
Well,
know
that's
it.
why you shouldn't stand on it so
Exactly.
fucking firmly.
Yeah.
I mean, you should stand on the idea that, like, listen, it makes
Hamas is bad.
It makes no sense to expect a nation that's surrounded by a fucking wild ass terrorist group that's willing to kill its own civilians to kill one of you. That believes that life starts at death.
Okay, but can I say something?
I mean-
Did you see the 3D map that Israel made of the hospital? And there was like a Hamas like undercover. Under
Yeah,
the street. What's that called?
the tunnel.
Well, whatever. It's under the hospital, and it's like basically Hamas has like a control center there under the hospital, and it was just a 3D model that they had made online, and I just thought it was so funny. I'm like, so there's no actual proof of this. It's a 3D model that you made of what you think is there.
I mean, that's the thing.
I just thought that was really
you
funny.
mean the hospital bombing?
No, the 3D model they made of the hospital, right? But there was like a headquarters underneath it, and it was like a Hamas headquarters.
Yeah.
It was just a 3D model, though. There was no proof. Like, it was just literally a 3D model they made online.
Well, that's not much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Israel, I don't know who's running their the social medias, but they're just as guilty as propaganda as
They
as
are.
Hamas is.
Both of them are.
They are doing propaganda.
Both of them are wrong, bro.
But I would just say that despite propaganda, I mean, the truth remains that Hamas wants to kill every single Jew.
Yeah, as
Whereas-
long as that's their message,
whereas-
I cannot.
Whereas
Of course,
Israel
that's their message.
will have fucking Arabs living with them, have them as representatives in their own fucking government, okay, and allow that to occur. You're not gonna find that in the fucking in the Muslim majority nations. That's
So,
just
yeah.
not allowed.
I do agree with we definitely got to
They
kill.
do genocide Jews. They do kick them out of their fucking country.
Yeah, we got to kill
And
Hamas.
so
for sure.
their entire premise is based on the idea of no, stop occupying them, so that we can get rid of your fucking shit, kick you the fuck out, and kill you.
I think even Palestinians are scared of Hamas.
Of course they are. They should be.
But I think a lot do agree with them too, though.
They agree
Yeah, it's pretty
with
much
the
about
part.
half.
They agree with the part that they don't like Israel. I don't think they agree with like all of their views.
Can you agree that a lot of Palestinians probably don't like Jews?
Of course.
But like, is
But
it?
a lot of them also want peace. A
but
lot
do you
of them
think
don't
it's a-
care. They just want peace.
Sure, but do you think
They
it's?
don't even want their land back. They literally just want peace, and they want to have rights, and they don't want to be in an open air prison.
But do you think it's heavily a thing?
There is no solution with the land issue, by the way, because like if you look at it for
West
example,
Bank and Gaza, and that's it. You don't get nothing else.
there's nothing.
That's
See,
it.
first of all, like this, even in the Gaza Strip, for example, they took away. There were a lot of
Almost 3 million people in
there were
one
a lot-
little Gaza
there-
strip.
There were a lot of Israelis that were living in that area, right? They kicked them.
sure.
They kicked them the fuck
Of
out
course,
of their
Israel
homes.
is right there.
They
Of
kicked
course.
them the. I'm talking about Israel. Kicked their
I
same
know.
Israeli people out
I
of
know.
that fucking home.
I'm saying it's right there, of
Put
course.
them. There's no solution that would fucking end up being satisfactory.
Not even if Israel and Palestine shared Jerusalem.
I mean, the Arabs are already there.
Okay, let's
live there.
inject some Palestinians in there and just have them all mingle.
They do live there.
Let's have them coexist.
They do live there.
Do a lot?
That wouldn't
a
be
lot
it.
live.
Like I told you, it's
That
about
wouldn't be a
20% of the
20%.
population.
That wouldn't be a solution.
That already exists.
So then, they just want it for either party. They
What they
want
want,
it
they,
all
what they
Palestinian
want is
or
to
all
have a
Israel.
government. They want to have a government there that can then dictate, no, fuck the Jews, you can't be here. That's pretty much what's
But
going
they
to
have
happen.
an Israeli government that says fuck the Palestinians, they can't be here.
They are there. They fucking live there. They vote.
You know they have a curfew on them.
You understand what I mean?
But they have a curfew on Palestinians. They literally took their land and put a curfew on them.
Bro, they've been taking each other's land for a shitload of years. What I'm telling you is that the best outcome is always going to come from the Israeli side because the other
Why
side...
do you believe that?
Because the other side is committed to fucking killing them on every end.
So is Israeli.
Bullshit.
You don't think so?
How can you prove that?
How are they allowing...
How can you prove that?
Because they're allowing the fucking Arab population to expand. And what nation...
I don't think they can stop that.
And what... Yes, they can.
How?
Yes, they can.
How?
If they wanted to, they could fucking stop that shit.
How?
By fucking killing them. By kicking them the fuck out. By trapping them in Gaza and being like, this is where you are. There's no Arabs allowed here.
They already kind of did that.
No, they did not. How the fuck is 20% of their population the Israeli population? This is not Gaza. This is not.
So
any
you're
of that
saying
shit.
Jews pop out in Palestinian land, it's game over?
They're already
Oh,
there.
definitely.
At all, but you're saying it like it's at all situations, like most of the
Yeah,
time.
they don't fuck with them. No. Yeah, that would be a definite.
You don't think that's a wild claim, though?
That's
Abe?
not a wild claim.
I wouldn't
That's
know.
not
so I
a
don't
wild
know.
claim. With 50% of the population supporting Hamas, that is not a wild claim.
But they are there.
I guess
Who?
it's not a wild
The
claim.
Arabs.
Or where?
Half of
In
them.
Gaza.
man.
There's
So-
Arabs in Gaza, yes.
How do you think they feel?
They must feel like shit.
I think it's just something that's always gonna be, dog.
Yeah, there's no... what I'm saying is that
And
there's...
so one side wipes out the other?
Not even. No.
It shouldn't be one side.
Definitely that would end it.
Yeah, but that's not gonna happen. That's impossible.
That's not impossible.
Yeah,
Well,
unless we have another Hitler just pop up out of
because we're in a
nowhere.
nuclear situation.
Yeah, but that's lights out for
So
everybody.
Israel
Forget
would fire
about
nuclear missiles. They have a good stockpile, by the way.
Bro, as
Israel
soon
has
as
a
that
good
happens,
stockpile of
as
nuclear
soon-
weapons.
Yeah, that's why it's not a good option.
Bro, that's not happening, bro.
Whereas Palestine doesn't have any stockpile of nuclear weapons.
I really don't
doesn't.
think they want the smoke
So
with the
what,
U.S.,
what,
bro.
what, I guess the other Arab nations would fucking destroy Israel because they hate them. So
No, the idea is if you legitimize it as a state.
isn't there like a nuclear proliferation treaty where if you launch a nuke, we're gonna launch a nuke and we're just gonna end everything?
That's
Is that
a lot.
basically, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucking fucking
That's
retarded.
that actually exists. It's a nuclear proliferation treaty, and it basically means Russia. If you launch a nuke at us, we're launching a nuke back at you guys.
Yeah.
No
I mean,
ifs, ands, or
I
buts.
agree with it.
We're both dying. You're not gonna kill us. We're both gonna die, and that keeps everyone like on their toes. It's like basically like a checks and balances. So
that
if
is
you
true.
shoot something, we're gonna shoot it back, and we're all gonna die. So it's your decision. Yeah, you could kill us, but you're gonna die too.
I respect it.
That's how they keep people in check
I respect it.
with nuclear arms.
Bro, they don't want to fuck with the U.S., bro.
I mean, we have the biggest stockpile of nuclear arms.
They don't wanna-
I'm sure we could take down most of the Earth by ourselves.
For sure, bro.
Russia has
And not
more
only
nukes
that,
than
we
us
also
right
have
now.
the longest distance.
The Russians.
A nuclear missile have the biggest longest.
Yeah, but Russians.
What's it called when you have the longest distance?
Yeah,
the longest,
I know what you mean.
Range.
Russians are
We have the
chopping
longest
us,
range.
though.
There we go.
Abe says Russians are chopping us, so.
Well, they just have more nukes.
No, they don't. The United States has more nukes.
No,
I swear to God.
they don't.
I'll
Isn't
prove it
Russia
to
the
you.
leading?
I'll prove
Isn't
it to you.
Russia the leading? What they have the most there? It's not oil. Is it nukes?
Well, they do have a lot of oil.
It's oil, right?
No, but they have more nukes than the U.S. right now. Yeah, the U.S. has been.
Oh, they do. Wow. Russia has 6,257 and the United States has 5,550. That changed recently. It wasn't like that.
But at the end of the day, I mean, once you're talking about like 5,000 nuclear missiles,
Yeah, it
and
doesn't
shit,
matter.
What about North
1,000
Korea?
nukes are
There's
missing.
no-
It doesn't matter. We're still gonna end everything.
That's it. It's over.
All we need is a couple. We don't even need 100. We don't even need 100.
I mean, that's just mass
And
suicide.
everything is done.
Yeah.
Done.
Nah, but that's not pretty, bro.
Then
Having some
comes
shit like
nuclear
that.
winter. It's basically the end of humanity.
Hiroshima was fucked up, man.
But you know what we were doing before then? We were firebombing them, and all of their structures were made out of wood, so they were literally being burned alive.
Yeah.
So before, even
was
when we
beef,
dropped a
dog.
nuclear bomb, we were annihilating them.
It sucks.
But
though.
it would have meant American boots on the ground, over 1 million killed in
To
Japan.
be fair.
The invasion would have meant a great loss to American life.
Pearl
They saved
Harbor,
us.
my guy.
They saved a lot of souls.
That's what it's called, right? Pearl Harbor.
To be fair,
That's why we retaliated.
Yeah, I know.
though, the people that were right at the center where the bomb was dropped, they evaporated instantly. They didn't feel a thing.
Oh, thank God. Thank God they evaporated, Ape.
Yeah.
Was that a dark humor joke?
Thank God they just evaporated.
Actually, Doug,
They did not feel a thing, those souls.
I would have actually preferred to go out like that.
Yeah.
For sure, so.
First of all, it's a hell of a way to go out, you know what I mean? Like, that's...
Damn, but they can't even find your teeth to, like,
Fuck it,
say
dog.
that you were
Bro,
there.
that's like...
That's
you-
the best way.
you're
That's like
gone.
you just went to a
you
dream.
resurrected, my
Yeah,
man,
you're
into
gone,
another
my G.
dimension.
That's it. That's like
You're-
a portal.
you're gone.
That's a portal.
That's it.
As someone that's been dead before, that my pulse was, my heartbeat was at 0.
Yeah.
I felt nothing. It felt like I was asleep. Like, and then you come back to life and you're like,
Well, you
oh,
weren't
I
aware
was
of it
dead?
though. You
Huh?
weren't aware of it though.
Huh?
Were you? You weren't aware of it.
Of course not.
So
But you
it-
come back to life and then you're like, oh, I was dead. I felt like I was dreaming. I thought I was asleep.
Yeah.
Did you remember anything?
Right up to the point before I died, I remember them throwing water on me and trying to like wake me up.
And then that's it. After that, you just woke up again.
I woke up in the ambulance, and then they're like, wait. I woke up and I heard, we got him.
Wow. How long were you?
Maybe. Well, you can't be dead for more than 7 minutes, or else the lack of oxygen to your brain creates brain damage. So I want to say like 5 minutes.
Damn. That's scary, dog.
You have no idea. When I woke up and I heard, we got him, I was like, God, who? What did you get?
Damn.
Scary stuff. Very scary
It's
stuff.
incredibly.
But I thought it was going to be incredibly profound, and it wasn't. It was very, like,
No, there's a lot of people
it
that
was
don't
very
have...
rudimentary.
Yeah, a lot of people don't have near-death experiences and when they die.
I mean, I didn't meet God. I didn't see no light at
A
the
lot
end
of
of the
people see
tunnel.
angels.
No.
A lot of crazy shit.
I was asleep, and then I woke up.
Mm.
That's the only way I could put it.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, I need to use a bathroom break, so I'll be
Sure.
right back.
Go for it.
I'll be quick. I want to talk about nature versus nurture when I get back. Man.
Go
Oh
for
yeah,
it.
we could do that. So Abe,
What's going on?
well, I got you with some random hot topics.
Yeah, you gotta go for it. Go for
While Leo's in the bathroom.
it. Let's do it.
Historical celebrities who were celibate or never married.
Yeah, fuck those guys, you know.
Nikola Tesla.
I was gonna say Jesus, but you know.
Man's never piped. I was like, all right, cool. What was another guy? I don't think it was Einstein. Einstein piped, I think.
Newton.
Newton, he was too.
We don't know that for a fact, but but everyone's like, dude, this guy did not get laid.
I'm literally just remembering the names off top. There was another guy. Damn. But whatever, yeah, that's some base shit I wrote down. Do you know about intelligent speed assistance?
No.
Dude, there's like some shit that they're putting in cars now. Apparently, like where they could kind of slow down, like if you're driving way too fast. And
Well, they've been gradually doing that shit where they're getting you primed to like the idea of, you know, your car controlling you rather than you controlling your car. Like,
Yeah.
it started with little things like, oh, if you're about to crash, it'll just brake automatically, and then it's like, oh, that's a great thing. Who wouldn't want that? You know?
right.
And then when it shifts into something a little bit more
So
subtle.
yeah, intelligent speed assistance is pretty much like, yeah, like I said, you're going too fast and it'll pretty much control your engine, bro.
Right.
And I think if I read correctly, it slows it down.
Sure.
I forgot what it does, but yo, that's scary. Like,
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
I wouldn't. And they already have it in a bunch of whips now.
Yeah.
So, and they haven't even. That's very subtle, like of them. They haven't even said anything about that. Like, I don't know. I just first heard about that. Jordan Peterson tweeted about it. He's like, "Yo, don't ever buy a car with whatever intelligent speed assistance." I was like, "Oh shit."
Hilarious. That's just how people are doing things now, you know? It's the Mr. Klaus Schwab.
That ass though, bro. I think fucking.
All these,
I mean, the fact that California is not gonna sell gas vehicles, dog, that shit blows my mind.
it does. It does.
That's
I mean,
scary, dog.
it's a wild world we're living in, bro. I mean, the amount of shit that's changing all of a sudden. I mean, even the fucking Freemasons are woke now. I mean, it's fucking wild.
Oh yeah, good segue, dog. I forgot about that.
Think about these folks. Folks, I don't know if any of you have heard, but like we were looking at some images from the Freemasonic from a Masonic museum over in England, and they were showing these images of like a fucking
They had merch.
They had LGBTQ merch at a fucking Masonic law at a Masonic museum, and it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that was actually weird.
But it's very odd. I mean, it's supposed to be a place where you don't discuss politics and or religion, and here you are, a theme that, of course, the LGBTQ people would say it's not political, but then if we're arguing about legislation, it's clearly political.
I mean, the Freemasons have been pretty dry, my G. Let's keep it a buck.
I mean, of course, they've been pretty dry.
So, the woke guys are the new big boys.
But they're supposed to be dry, though. What kind of secret society is out there flexing and shit? Like,
it probably got too big on its own. It was so secret that people were so fucking interested in it.
everybody started joining that shit. And then everybody, like, just stopped. You know, it just didn't keep going. You know, it's not...
They're trying to keep their DEI score up, bro.
Bruh, I'm sure out of all the Masons, there has to be, like, some motherfuckers in there that's just the woke folks.
Right? There's probably, like, a woke section.
And
like
there's woke shit. And woke shit gets into everything, and eventually it gets even into fucking shit that's designed to, you know, like, keep everything secret so that nobody fucks with it. Like Masonry, and there it is. You see gay Mason shit, you know what I mean? Like, promoting LGBTQ shit. You know, of course, there's always been like gay Masons and shit, but nobody was like, let's make a political defense of gay Masonry.
Right. I mean, this shit is really just infiltrating everything, bro.
It is pretty much I mean, you're gonna have to say your fucking pronouns to get into the lodge eventually, you know.
That ass, bro. I mean, there's even I watch like video game tournaments and people playing competitively. There's pronouns and that shit, and I just be like,
I'm sure.
It'd just be like, dog, are we serious?
So, bro, can you not tell that thing probably has a cock?
Not even. Like,
Yeah.
why does that matter when playing a video game?
What the fuck are you guys doing, bro?
Like, why does that matter? Your name matters, and that's it. The name of the person playing the game, that's it. Why the fuck are we... It's just wild, dude. Fucking,
people are just on some bullshit, bro. They insist on being on bullshit.
So, dude, what's your argument against Stoicism being better than...
You mean for Stoicism against Epicureanism?
Yeah.
Well, my idea that, first of all, their entire philosophy being based on this on this idea of actual, like, the absence of pain.
Do they say that?
Whether it's physical and just mental suffering,
Or do they
though that is what's going to maximize pleasure. That first of all, that's just.
Or do they imply that you try to subtract as much of it out of your life?
You got to understand, there's entire schools of philosophy that didn't exist when they were making these claims. Existentialism didn't exist when they were making these claims.
Gotcha.
There's entire.
You're saying it's aged pretty bad.
There's entire theoretical schools of psychology that have to do with existentialism. Okay. Where people suffer due to the lack of a sense of meaning they have in their lives, right? To just suggest that if you get rid of, you know, all of this bullshit and all of this shit that causes suffering and just insert happiness, that people would be satisfied with their lives, no. If that were the case, I mean, bipolar people are very happy during a manic phase, right? But that doesn't mean that they have a sense of meaning. That's just fucking wild ecstasy. Right,
dopamine just flashing like crazy.
That's
all that is. There's nothing.
That's not genuine satisfaction with life. In fact, you see so many people that are bipolar actually commit suicide during manic phases. And so that just, to me, the meaning is primary.
And a life as an Epicurean has no meaning.
Well, it doesn't solve the problem of meaning because it didn't try to address meaning.
Okay.
Right. It didn't necessarily, and since it focuses on that, it seems so much more like self-centered, which doesn't give a structure for satisfaction and meaning in life.
How equipped are you with Epicurean?
Not nearly as much as Stoicism.
Gotcha.
Not nearly as much. I just know them as the competitors. I know that they focus a lot more on shit that is not in your control. Not a lot more, because they did want to try to restrict desires. Right? That to them, usually the idea was if you can avoid something, if you can avoid having a certain desire, then avoid it. But there's some things that you're just not going to be able to avoid desiring. And so they had some of them that were necessities, right? Like food and water, and if you don't have those, then of course you got to be miserable or some shit, right? Which of course isn't even necessarily the case. There's people that have shown their greatest fucking strength even right before they were killed. So no, I don't. It's not satisfactory to me, and I don't see how it has any advantage over Stoicism.
Do you think any...
Other than perhaps like in modern ages, I guess the metaphysics would probably be better than the Stoics, in terms of like not having any belief in God or gods or any of that shit.
Yeah, they didn't believe in that, right?
So that, I guess you could say, is a superior...
a trait that they had?
Yeah, you could say that is a superior trait that they had.
Coming from you, of course, you're going to think that.
No, I do think it was a superior trait, but I also...
Because you're an atheist?
But I also don't hold the idea... Well, not just because I'm an atheist. I feel like I'm an atheist for reasons that make sense.
Right.
Not because I just fucking said this is what I believe. I believe that there's nothing.
You're saying that's what they were like, they just thought that? Maybe they were...
First of all, they had much less justification for being an atheist, because it was pretty insane to be an atheist back then.
Right.
When there was no explanation for jack shit. Now, I still understand that the logic applies, like, oh, so there's no God. Well, how did it happen? That's the God of the gaps argument, right? You don't want to just say God did it. But they didn't have any physics that could come up with a theory that something can come out of nothing, for example.
Right. And people weren't they weren't thinking like that back in the days, right? They weren't on some
Oh no, it existed, but it was so rare and it was so frowned upon that you would never like publicly want to hold that.
Even admit it type shit.
Yeah.
That's so lame.
And so that was a problem, seriously. And of course it made a lot more sense back then, especially with life being as barbaric as it was and people being killed people needed the idea of fucking God back then, let me tell you. And there's still a lot of places where they need it now. People that are
were cavemen on some shit about...
Religion is universal.
For sure.
It's universal. There's people that are going to have...
They're going to have their own form of it.
Yeah, they'll create it. Even looking up at the stars, if you look at the pagans, right, they would be looking up at the skies and seeing gods,
They
right?
worship the stars.
The sun is a god.
Right.
The fucking, the moon is a god, and together they create the one, and then there's the 7 luminaries and shit, and then there's all these stars, and then you can see that at night it's all the parts, but in the morning you can see the whole, that one of creation, right? You're looking at the direct depiction of God, right? Not looking at God, but looking at the image that he created to represent himself here.
Swag.
Right. Which is why he's so fucking bright that it hurts if you look at him. And so you want to have light. It protects you from death. It makes helps the plants grow.
Listen, it sounds reasonable. Like if you're coming back from all the way back then, and that's like your argument. Yeah, well, I would have been like, damn, dude, that don't sound bad.
And in many ways, it made sense because it actually, what it was is really, in a way, it was nature worship, right?
Okay, yeah.
Because they were actually worshiping things that they could see.
Yeah, like no bullshit like that.
And so, but they would also try to sort of leave things as a mystery, which is why they were called the mysteries. Mm-hmm. So they would show you things and give you an experience, and the whole point was to have the experience. And the experience, they would show you the symbols, and you were the one that had to interpret them. Right?
What symbols again? Like
symbols that have to do, like, the fucking sun is a symbol. Right?
Well, you said they had to hide them, like, since it's the mysteries.
Oh yeah, well they did hide them, but at the same time they were hidden in plain sight. Like hieroglyphics back then, nobody understood that shit. Nobody knew what it meant unless you were initiated and you were allowed to be taught what they represent.
Yeah.
And then there were different levels of representation. But the point isn't that. The point is just that.
Put it down, dude.
Even in the Eleusinian mysteries, right? That they had over there, you would have the people would show up and they would have this entire series of like wild ass spectacles that would be put on and these crazy ass experiences that people would be having, and they would symbolize, for example, the seasons, right? The passing of the seasons.
Really?
Going on. You would symbolize, and of course, the entire thing ends up symbolizing a process of death and rebirth. They all had that in common, right?
What happened, Leo?
You have anything to connect this to?
No, bro. I don't have a USB thing.
But the what they ended up doing is just that. It would end up being a death and rebirth ritual. What was the point of a death and rebirth ritual?
Well, what is the point?
Well, first of all, it eliminates the fear of death because you confront it directly. Right?
Are you scared of death, babe?
I think everyone is scared of death.
Inertly?
At least at a subconscious level. If you have human reflexes that are healthy, yeah. If you're someone that would try to get away from a tiger if it was running after you to kill you, you have a fear.
Then you have a fear of death.
You have a fear of death.
What do you have a fear of pain?
You can also have a fear of pain too.
It could be both.
It could be both.
I mean,
Can
it's
it be
probably
fear of
both.
pain without fear of death?
You can't have pain without
Can
fear.
it be fear of pain without fear of death?
It's unlikely.
No, because pain leads to death. A lot of it, probably.
It also leads to discomfort.
Yeah, just things that you probably wouldn't.
But
Damn, I gotta fucking pee, dog.
yeah.
But I'm keep going. Let's go. We got a little bit of
But
time.
no,
left,
they did do a ritual of death and rebirth, where the candidate would feel like they had died and then come back and
Doing what again exactly?
it's hard to say.
That's a hard-ass experiment to pull off.
For real.
Remember, they're called the mysteries. A lot of people think it was psychedelics because psychedelics can universally just give that
Definitely
experience
had to
chemically.
be. Had to be.
But there's no direct evidence pinning it back to psychedelics.
These motherfuckers were druggies.
And so
They
it's,
were off that good shit.
it's just hard to be able to pinpoint it back to that using like the actual evidence. It's not to say that it wasn't. I mean, if I had to guess, I'd be like, I don't know anything else that can give you an experience like you fucking died, got pimp slapped by God, and came back.
Motherfuckers took DMT for the free. Like, yo, here you go.
Yeah, I mean, mushrooms have always been widely available, you know.
So that might have been the go-to for sure.
There's always psychedelics. I mean, even in a desert like Egypt, there were psychedelics. I mean, fuck. So that had to be somewhere. Somebody was fucking using that shit somewhere, you know. But the fuck were we talking about before that?
Damn, we got into like tangents. Like, we went
Alright,
to.
can I tie this in together real quick?
Yeah, go
Go
for it.
for it, bro. Go ahead.
Can we talk about nature versus nurture?
Let's get
And
it.
how, when you're a child, your main ideas, your main principles, your bedrock of the philosophy that you'll hold on to for most of your life is built by your parents. They're your first bully, by the way. They're your first love. Your parents are your first everything, you know.
Well,
And you hold them in such high regard that how could you not take what they say as universal truth
so you say that.
and build upon
You're
it?
saying hypothetically if they're always there, though, for them?
I'm
there's
say-
parents
I'm
that are
saying,
not in their kids'
I'm
life.
saying that's what I think about parents
You're saying that
and,
you're
and
saying
nurturing.
You're saying the environment has a higher influence than biology.
Yeah, either equal to or higher. At the very least equal to.
This is an interesting thing to consider for me because, like, one of the things that
Tell us your
happens.
story.
One of the things that happens is like biology and environment are impossible to separate
Oh, yeah, no matter what.
because of the fact that the biological being lives in an environment.
Yes.
No matter what environment you put him in, he's in an environment. And so it's
No matter what.
it's never about which one
Is more?
is more necessarily, although in some sense it can appear to be the case. Like
Yeah,
some people can have
100%.
some people can have genes, for example, that can make it so that no matter fucking what, you know, you're gonna end up with fucking Down syndrome, right?
Okay.
You're gonna have that.
Right, no matter
Right.
what.
It doesn't matter how kind your parents are, you're gonna fucking have Down syndrome. With psychological traits, it seems like some of them are more moldable than others, but not completely, right? So like some people may be like, it might be more likely to get depression under certain circumstances.
From a certain...
Yeah, but for example, some people are gonna get schizophrenia. There's nothing the fucking parents can say when they're young that's gonna stop that.
Right.
So there's that type of shit.
There's certain cases that will override the environment always. Like schizo.
Yeah,
like
there's
certain cases that are always gonna be just way too...
Right. There is cases where that shit's gonna happen, and then there's other shit that we just don't understand yet.
I mean, we don't even understand.
Or don't know about.
We don't even understand ourselves fully. Like the spectrum is so much larger than we even know. Like there's probably certain people, like the way they act is probably a certain type of thing that we haven't even discovered yet. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure the spectrum is fucking just long and like, but we don't have that type of info. Maybe I don't know what the case is with all that, but I believe that's the thing, you know.
But biology is definitely, I mean, it's fucking enormous. I mean, even in things that people think is like, that they have more control over, people think like, for example, depression and shit like that. It's like, nah, bro, there's some people that just genetically lost that fucking lottery. You know? It's not really as moldable. It's moldable. It just depends on the genetic set that the person has. Like some genes that are associated with depression, for example, like they'll make it way more likely that the person will have it. Sometimes they'll be like more moldable in the sense that some people won't get depression no matter what. At least not clinical depression, right?
Sure.
And it doesn't matter what the fuck you do to them, right? But there's other people that, you know, they'll get it under certain conditions, and under some they won't, and it
varies though.
It varies.
Everybody's different,
right? But that's tied to genetics,
strictly,
right?
Right.
There's nothing else to tie it to. If you want to tie it to free will, go ahead.
That might be. That is funny.
Motherfuckers will say mind over matter as they're pointing a gun to their head.
That's funny.
Little do
Saves
they know.
matter over mind.
So
that's interesting. What was I gonna say? Fuck, I had something
you fucking stoner
to argue about.
The fuck is wrong with you? You're fucking high. You're fucking
You
disgusting.
think you can be nurtured into being an evil person? Or that has to be hardwired in your biology?
It's both. There's no way for it to be otherwise. I mean, like the person is born a certain way. I mean, but by born a certain way, I mean they're born with a certain genes.
And society reinforces the bad genes.
And those genes interact with the environment. And even in
certain people are capable of going that far with it.
But I don't just mean by like in terms of like the social interactions and shit. I mean like even like the fucking climate where you're at, the fucking food that you grew up in, the diet that you had, the fucking toxins in the environment that you're fucking breathing in, all that shit affects your biology. That even affects the expression of fucking of genes.
Of course.
So all of that is to be considered too. And that's why it's always like this interaction that's going on between both of them. And it's fucking weird. Anyways, the fuck were we talking about?
We were going in with the mysteries for a bit, but then I forgot.
I always bring up the fucking mysteries at some fucking point or another, don't I?
What mysteries?
Let's get into some philosophy.
Just the ancient mystery religions and shit.
Give me some hot takes.
Like the Eleusinian mysteries, the mysteries of Egypt, where there were some people there was like the regular religion, where everybody sort of knew, oh, the sun, we worship the sun because that's a god, and the moon, that's another god. There's Isis and Osiris, and those are the gods, and you know, most people, they bought that story. Oh, the sun and the, you know, and even though the stories didn't make any sense, it's literally. But there were some people that were initiated into the mystery religions, and they were allowed to know things that other people didn't know. They were allowed to know things like the certain level of science that the society had. They were allowed to learn how to read.
Privileged fuckers.
And write and understand hieroglyphics, and, you know, everything was a fucking...
Yeah, you good, bro?
Right.
Oh, my bad. Give me a second.
So that's what I mean by the mysteries.
No, yeah, we've talked about this, though.
Yeah.
Let's get some hot takes going on before we dip out of here, fellas.
What you got for me, bro? You got anything or no?
I'm trying to think of something right now. Trying to think
Sorry,
of.
guys. So, hot takes. What do you want to talk about hot takes on? What is the hot take today?
Before we dip, we gotta dip by like.
What's a hot pancake?
We got like 10 minutes to really.
I think Lizzo is brave, stunning, and beautiful. And,
Swag.
And I wanna fuck her.
You want to eat that ass?
I wanna eat that fat ass. Yeah.
You don't care about her allegations.
I'm trying to eat the grease off that.
You don't care that she got accused of having a toxic work environment.
that has nothing to do with her ass.
She might be real toxic too.
What
She-
if, what
she
if her
may be-
ass
she
is
may
not
be guilty.
existent? She's just fat as fuck.
She may be guilty,
Or
but
are you
that
just fucking fat?
Well, I'm telling you, she may be guilty. But
That ass is guilty of cellulite.
That ass is innocent.
No.
That ass
Not
is
even
innocent.
an ounce of innocence came from that asshole.
I'm trying to tell you, bro.
Not even an ounce,
Dude, I got a piece so
I will
bad.
fuck her in the belly button.
What is that gonna accomplish? Your dick would have to be incredibly small for you to get pleasure out of fucking her in the belly button. You would have to have a small dick.
No,
Yes.
just the tip.
Just little like
I don't know what the,
The
fuck
tip
you're
isn't
talking
gonna
about.
do anything unless you have a really small dick. You're not gonna get
rub.
I don't think-
sensation
I
throughout
don't think
throughout
I don't
the
think-
shaft.
Leo, I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
You want to fuck her belly button?
I'm trying to explain to you. This is a big bitch.
The biggest.
Right. Okay. I'm trying
That
to.
belly button is
I
big.
want you to imagine that belly button.
Could be.
Okay.
What?
Probably the rolls like connecting make like a bigger belly button, like a wider, like longer belly button.
You see the
Because
vision.
rolls,
You see the
fuck.
vision. He's doing the science.
I'm trying to titty fuck those belly rolls. You know what I'm saying? Like
You're trying to take.
just blah blah blah.
That's
You know
how
what
you
I'm
know
saying?
you're a freaky motherfucker.
Yeah.
When
I'm
you're
saying,
going
like,
for
you
the
wanna get
for
like
the
a-
rolls,
Like you start off
Going for the roses.
with a little bit,
yeah, right.
and then you with a steady pace,
Imagine the
Are you a
sweatiness.
glizzy gobbler?
a little bit of a,
Huh?
little bit of a.
That boy has seen a couple glizzies in his day.
Yo, hey, tone it down, dog.
In
This
his heyday,
nigga mad horny, dog.
yeah, holy shit. You're about to explode in your pants, G.
Sheesh. That boy creamed his jorts.
He's even doing the slow stroke after. Like, you know, after you cream, you just go like slow. Damn.
Hey, yo.
Now, what was that question about some glizzy shit you were saying?
How many glizzies have you
said-
seen in your day?
I seen are you
Sound
a,
like
I seen are you a glizzy gobbler?
those are some suspect questions. You
No,
guys
that
are
was
asking.
suspect. I said how many glizzies have you seen in your
What
day?
is it? What is
That's
a glizzy?
even
What
worse.
do you mean by glizzy?
A hot dog.
A hot dog.
That's
Yeah,
what I was
hot dog.
referring to, nigga. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
You guys keep going back metaphors.
This guy was.
Tell me what you really mean.
I was talking about hot
I was
dogs.
saying, are you a hot dog fan? Are you a glizzy gobbler?
I'm trying to ask you. Why are you asking some sus shit like that
Asking another man if he eats hot dogs is us?
at 1:05 in the fucking morning?
He's just giving you signs.
Is that so?
No.
Why are you so scared to say
I
no?
really gotta pee. That's why I'm really like trying to hold. I don't want to talk too much.
It'll help if you pass the bleed. Your bladder will like calm down.
No, I think it'll actually help me. I'll pass you the blunt now, Leo. Relax.
Look, this is what we gotta do. We gotta establish
I'm a
dominance.
commie when it comes to the weed.
You got to establish dominance.
Yes.
Over what?
Over South Florida.
For what?
Let's dominate the scene
For what?
The
for
podcasting.
podcasting.
Let's become the new Fresh and Fit.
Except Fresh and Fit sucks.
I'm playing that.
Hot take, Fresh and Fit is ass. Myron with his dumb ass. Holy
I
shit,
don't
those
watch this
people are
shit.
trash. And they kick off girls from their podcast, and it's really like them just being misogynist, and they disguise it as red pill alpha talk, but they're really just pieces of shit. Like, I don't
Damn.
like Fresh and Fit.
Maybe
And
they could be nice guys who are just doing some.
How do you feel about Fresh and Fit? Are you an admirer?
I'm not.
misogynist, 1,000%.
Do you look up to them as alpha males and
They are no alphas. They're beta as
and
fuck.
you take their advice as
There's
an alpha
actually
male?
one of the guys did a funny ass video about how he had a story about how he met like this NBA player at the bar, and they exchanged numbers, and then he
Oh,
went
yeah.
to his
Yeah.
house for like a party, and the NBA player gave him 3 chicks that he could just smash. But like the story, like the way he said it, it was just so.
Everyone knows it's a lie.
It was so.
He's lying.
It was so funny. Like the video's hilarious.
Pretty alpha
Yeah.
shit.
He's lying
And
so
he was
hard.
like, 3 girls? Damn, man, that's never happened to me. Like he was just like
Dude,
so like.
he was so corny.
It was just.
And then if you look at the guy, he's ugly as shit. So it's like, dude, what, unless
you
you get
judging
past,
men, Leo?
unless you get past the girl, you're definitely not smashing no hoes. You feel me? Well, and maybe not with all that money and clout. I guess because academics has a girlfriend, but if you don't have money or clout and you're that ugly, yeah, you're fucked. Single season.
I don't agree with
Single
that.
season.
I don't
That's bullshit.
necessarily agree with that.
And
either.
that's subjective, Leo. What's ugly? To you might not be ugly
The
to
person
somebody.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, there's girls that
And,
find them attractive.
you're ugly.
And I can't believe I'm
you're ugly
defending
to
this.
someone. You're ugly to someone in this world.
Exactly.
We're
That's
all
my
ugly
point.
to someone in this world.
That proves you're.
We're all
that-
beautiful to someone in this world.
You're literally proving your own argument, whatever.
There was this comedian Doug Stanhope who was talking about
I
pussy,
love comedians.
and he was talking about how like what we need.
You guys don't know shit about comedians.
What we
alright,
need
bro?
is a
Yeah,
new.
Grandmaster Mike.
There's
Stop fucking with that.
we need a new hole to fuck. That's what would bring more excitement in this world.
Bring glory holes
There's
back?
already no.
They
There's-
need a new hole, like in their spine, like in the back.
Right, there should
like
be
in
like
their
a
shoulder.
hole. Right. So like if there was like a hole like right here in the forehead or some shit,
We talked about this.
or in the back of the head, right?
That would help.
Yeah, if there was a hole right there
You'd
in
be
the
able
back
to
of the
relieve
head,
some stress.
she could definitely literally give you brain. I mean,
That'd be crazy.
it'd be fucking
Think about
wild.
the gangbangs. Epic.
You'd be fucking giving that bitch hallucinations.
Her brain just
Orgasm.
rattling in her head while you fuck it.
Fucking insane.
Having an orgasm is crazy.
Fucking brain matter comes out of the
I don't
tip of
think
your
anyone's
dick.
arguing that.
Have you guys ever had an orgasm?
More importantly, have you ever
Absolutely
given
not.
a girl an orgasm?
What?
I think that's way more important. Have you ever given a girl an orgasm?
Nah, my man.
Where,
Yeah,
where
I
you
have, for
know
sure.
you have, like for sure. Like no
100%.
debate, no faking. You gave this
100%.
girl an orgasm and you know it.
100%.
How did you know?
She told me.
Huh?
She told me.
I believe it.
For me,
She was just honest.
for
Why
me,
would she lie?
I came at the same time as a girl, and I feel like
I've done that
I
plenty
could
of
really
times, bro.
tell. That's when I could really tell. Like we came at the same time. Like it's really hard to fake that. You have to be
Yeah,
like.
but like just coming and like actually having an orgasm is two different things, though. I'm pretty sure.
Isn't coming an orgasm?
No, bro. Like
How
an,
is that not an orgasm?
like an orgasm is like I believe it's different.
Nah, coming is definitely an orgasm.
Really?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, as far as I know.
Hell yeah.
Is it not like a
So you're gonna ejaculate without an orgasm? I've never heard of that.
wait? What? Say that again.
Coming as an ejaculation.
You said you can't have an orgasm without ejaculating.
I've never heard of having ejaculation without an orgasm. Because
I've-
to ejaculate,
that does
bullshit.
exist.
to
I've actually had
ejaculate, you
one
need
without.
to be
I've had one without.
what, like a wet dream or something?
There's that. That was a good actually example.
But then you're still stimulated in your dreams.
But I'm not ejaculating.
Without stimulation,
beating
you're
my
not
meat, though.
ejaculating.
I'm not beating
it
my
doesn't
meat, though.
matter. You can still, dude. Orgasming has nothing in the name that says you need to touch yourself. Neither does
Exactly. I'm
ejaculation.
saying that. I'm literally saying that.
The
brother.
idea is whether or not you can fucking have like
Ejaculate without orgasming
You mean
Right.
coming?
is ejaculating, but yeah, it's coming.
Yes, bro. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is.
So you can come without having an orgasm. That's your stance.
listen.
You can
bro,
have an orgasm without coming.
This is a very important debate topic.
Listen, we're here. This is the tough hitting questions, bro.
But as far as if
We're
I've
here to
ever
ask the real
if I've
shit.
ever made a woman come, I made that bitch leave.
So you at least get an Uber for her?
Absolutely not. No.
I like you.
In terms of making her come, I mean, what I always
Tough guy.
try to do is like I get the hair on my balls.
And you twist them up.
I
And you make
twist
them
them
real
up.
nappy like.
When I twist them up, it's like a little dick, and so I just touch her in the clit with.
Like a girl squirting would be like a more
Hot take.
intensified orgasm.
Hot take, hot
That's my
take.
point.
well, I mean,
You guys are saying it like it's just coming is just the orgasm. That's it. Like no, there's other
No, I
forms of
just meant they go
orgasms.
hand in hand. Without
yeah,
stimulation, you
I
can't
never
come.
said- Without what?
Stimulation, you can't come. Mental or otherwise. It doesn't have to be physical hand on dick.
I mean, of course, those are the only options, right? What other ways, right?
Someone else doing it.
That's still,
Physical.
in a sense, right?
and mental.
And mental, yeah. Someone, you're literally visualizing somebody fucking doing this to you.
Not visualizing. I'm saying someone actually doing it to you.
I mean, someone's doing it in front of you,
That's
right?
definitely mental.
Yeah, Leo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm just asking.
The,
But,
the thought of her doing this to you in front of you probably give you, arouse you, like it'll, you know.
Give you a stiffy.
She's never came. with me, but she has
Left.
She has laughed a lot.
She left.
Yeah.
No, but
Sometimes as I'm coming, she'll be there.
that was my whole point.
Whole lot of-
like I've made a chick squirt. That's what I
Have
was
you
trying
ever given a chick her forced orgasm? And she's had people before you, and you're the first to give her an orgasm.
I don't know about all that, Leo. Now you're asking too much.
I had a girl that told me yes. I don't know if she was lying to me or not, but she told me I was the first person to make her orgasm.
Well, that makes you very special, Leo.
And she was in a relationship with a guy for 4 years, and she didn't come not even once. And I'm not saying me like, oh, I'm bragging. Or
She
anything.
didn't come
I'm just saying,
once?
have you guys ever experienced that?
Making her come
She
for
said
the
she
first
didn't
time.
come once in the 4 years she dated her ex.
Get the fuck out.
That motherfucker didn't like. He
That's
couldn't even use his
bullshit.
tongue or
But
some
they
shit.
didn't even,
Like,
they didn't even have sex. And I know
Oh,
this
come
guy.
on then, Leo.
No, they
Like-
did have sex, but not like a normal person would have sex. Like, you know, like once a week or a couple times a week. Whatever, however you do it, you feel me? They would have sex like once every 6 months, like on the anniversary type shit.
what the fuck is that about?
That was a weird couple.
He just doesn't... I know this guy. He's a fucking pussy. Like, he's the biggest pussy
Bro,
I
you're
probably
gonna
know.
fuck his bitch and call him a pussy on the pod, bro? Like,
Come on, bro. Take it easy.
I was
man.
fucking his bitch while they were together. To get this, I would pick her up and then I would drop her off at his house.
Well, all right. Leo.
Goddamn, Leo,
That's pretty ruthless, bro.
And he knew.
You didn't feel that
Oh,
was. You thought that was morally right.
Tell me how I was picking her up and dropping her off at his house, and one time she's like, "Oh, come serve me up." So I go to serve her up, and it's the guy who comes to get the weed, and I felt so awkward, and he gave me such a strange face, and it was just like the weirdest, most awkward moment ever. And she thought this was okay.
Ape, is it morally right to smash a dude's chick?
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you.
You're gonna leave a bitch sad and dickless. I'm gonna swoop in and give her the dick she's been missing.
I'll tell
Boy.
you, I wouldn't be the one to try to like ruin a relationship.
I didn't try shit. You know, actually, what happened?
You know, I wouldn't try to do that, especially if I'm friends with someone.
But listen to this, Abe.
Not
What
friends.
if it happened this way? I
Not
literally
friends. Not
went.
friends. I'm not saying friends.
I went
Friends
to
is fucked up.
I went to
obviously.
serve her up with my boy, one of my like best friends at the time. We don't talk anymore, but at the time we were chilling every day. And then she comes outside and to get served up in these little ass booty shorts. And she's like, oh my god, she's smiling and she's acting like all flirty and shit. And when she leaves, she's like, Leo, you know that girl wants to smash, right? And I was so oblivious that I was like, yeah, right, bro. And he's like, dude, did you see how she came out to like get this little fucking quarter or whatever? And I'm like, all right. So I texted her and I'm like, oh, you were looking mad good when you came outside today. And she's like, oh, for real, let's go out.
The
Like
Leo
right there.
is live on the V N APE pod.
Right there, she was like, let's go out. And yeah, that's what happened.
God, I look up to you, bro.
Yeah, as you
I'm
should.
inspired right now. let me
That
tell
ass,
you.
dog. We need to hear more of these stories, dog.
There's a couple.
Damn,
But
dog.
so
You're pimping out here?
that's how it started, and that's how I started picking her up from her house and dropping her off at her man's house, and it evolved from there. It got pretty crazy.
Rubber, no rubber.
She tried to have a threesome with me and my baby mama.
Rubber, no rubber.
No rubber.
Oof.
That's a bold move.
Raw doggy?
Yeah, raw dog.
That's a bold move, right there.
You're
I want to feel all the stimulation, not half of it.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You gonna feel all that child support too.
You sound like a hedonist now.
I mean, I already have a child. I support him, so
You want another one?
not yet. Maybe let me get established, and then we could talk about another one.
Okay.
Well, guys, is that it? We out?
I think that's about as far as we can go.
That's what we're gonna conclude with.
You
Well,
got-
all right, though. You guys heard it here best. Leo is, he's pimping.
He's fucking all the hoes.
From now on, call me the Rizzler.
Oh,
All right, you heard it. V N APE, we out.
holy shit.
Deuces.
Later, guys.
Peace.
Peace.